Alright, so up to this point we have our search form component and we're able to submit the form and it's calling the search movies action. Now what we need to do is handle this search movies action on in the store. So we're going to open up our app store file and we're going to go down to here where we're checking our action types. And what we want to do is we want to add a case. So we're going to say case app constants dot search movies. Alright, and then what we can do just to check, I'm going to grab that console log that we put here in this part and cut that out and then bring it over here like that. Alright, and then we're going to want to emit a change. Okay, so we're going to say app store.emit, and then we just want to pass in change event. Alright, and then finally you just want to break. Alright, so let's save that and let's go ahead and reload. Okay, so if we say test, okay, so it's not doing anything, and the reason for that is because we have to add the add change listener to our application component. Alright, so we want to go to components, app.js, and there's some stuff we need to do here. Okay, so first thing, we want to run our add change listener function. Alright, so we're going to do that in the component did mount lifecycle method. Okay, so function, I'm going to put a comma here. Okay, so this is where we can say app store dot add change listener. Oops. Sometimes I can't talk and type at the same time. Alright, and then we want to pass into here this dot underscore on change, okay, which we're going to create in a minute. So we have that, and then we also want the remove change listener. So I'm going to copy this, and this lifecycle method is going to be component will unmount. Okay, so component will unmount, and then we're going to change this to remove change listener. Okay, and that's fine, and now we need to create that on change, so I'm going to do that below the render. Okay, so we're going to say underscore on change again. This is stuff that you can just use as a template for other projects. You don't have to keep just retyping this manually, which is probably what we'll do. So what we want to do now on here is we want to refresh the state. Alright, so we're going to say this dot set state, and then we're going to pass in a function called get app state. Alright, now we have to create that, so we're going to go up to the top here and create a function called get app state, and we're going to return an object with our states. Actually, we don't really have anything that we need to put in here yet because we're not actually getting the movies, so let's try that. Oh, one thing that we need to do here is we need to call get initial state, which is another lifecycle method. So get initial state, okay, and this is where we want to call the get app state. Okay, so we're just going to return get app state. Alright, let's save that. Okay, so uncaught reference error, movie is not defined. Alright, so where are they talking about? Okay, searching for movie. Did I not pass it? Okay, so search movies. We have movie. We're passing it here. And then in the store, movie.title. Oh, it's action. You have to use action. It's action.movie. Alright, so let me just see if I can explain that. In the app actions, whatever we pass here, okay, in this case movie, which is coming from here, when we go to this function here, this search movies, we need to use action dot and then whatever we put there, which was movie. Alright, and then the title is just part of the object. It's one of the properties. Alright, so that should work in theory. Okay, so we'll say test. Movie is not defined. Did I save it? Let's see. Searching for movie. Alright. Okay, action movie title. Oh, you know what? I think I have to run gulp. No, that should be good. Maybe I just needed to refresh the browser. There we go. Searching for movie test. Okay, so we're passing that along. Alright. So what we want to do now is we want to interact with our API. Alright, and this is where we do it, in the Action Creator. So I'm going to go right above this this App Store emit, and we're going to call app API dot search movies, and then we can pass in that action dot movie. Alright, so let's go to our API file, and we actually already created search movies, and it's taking in the movie. So this is where we want to do our AJAX call. Alright, we're using jQuery, so we're just going to do $.ajax, and then in here we're going to pass in the URL. Okay, now the URL is going to be http www.omdbapi.com, and then we can say /?s equals and then a movie title, and I can just show you right in the browser. If I grab that, whoops. Okay, if I grab that and we go to our browser and just put in, let's say, Batman. Okay, so that's going to give us a list of a bunch of different movies that have the word Batman in the title. Alright, so it's as easy as that. We don't even need to have an API key or anything like that. Okay, so what we want to do is pass in the title right here, which will be dynamic. So we're going to concatenate movie.title. Alright, and then we're going to specify a data type. Okay, in this case is going to be, whoops, JSON. And we're going to set the cache to false. And then we need our success. Okay, and down here we're going to say dot bind this, and then we want the error function. Okay, we're going to pass in XHR, status, and error. Okay, if we do get an error, let's just say alert error, and then we need to also bind this. Alright, now in our success we're going to get the data back. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we need to now call another action. Alright, so we're going to say app actions dot, and this is going to be called receive movie results. Alright, so receive movie results, and then we're going to pass in data, but we also want to pass in dot search, because if we look at the JSON here, we have a search, and that's the array of the movies. Alright, so you want to pass in search. And that's it. Okay, so that's our API call. Let's save that. And then what we need to do is create this action, receive movie results. Alright, so let's go to app actions, and right under search movies, we'll create that receive movie results. And that's going to take in movies, and then what I'm going to do is just copy this here, okay, because they're all going to look like this. Handle view action, and we want to change this right here from search movies to receive underscore movie underscore results. Alright, and then we're going to pass in movies. Okay, now we need to create this constant, so I'm going to copy that. We're going to go to the constants file and just add that. Save it. Okay, now what I want to do is just check it out. So in the receive movie results, I'm just going to see if we can console.log those movies that are returned. Okay, so we'll save that, and let's say Batman. Okay, and then you can see here we get all these objects. If we look at these, each one is a result, which gives us a poster of the movie, gives us a title, the type, which is a movie, gives us the year, and also the IMDb ID. Alright, so it's going to give us that for anything that has Batman in the title. So that's working great. Alright, so let's get rid of that console log. So we know we're getting that. Now let's go to our appstore.js file, and we want to create our case here for receiving the results. Okay, so let's copy this, and we're going to change this to receive movie results. Okay, and we can get rid of this console log. Now what we want to do is we want to set the movies that are coming back, which we can get, let's get rid of that, we can get in action.movies. We want to set that to, let's go up here to this array. We want to put those movies in this array. So we're going to create a function here to do that. Alright, so let's go right here. So this is going to be called set movie results. Okay, and all this is going to do, we're going to take that underscore movies array, and we're going to set it to movies, which is going to come from right here. Alright, and that's a pretty simple function. Alright, and then we're just going to call it down here when we receive them. So what we need to do is say app store. This is how we can call the above functions. App store dot set movie results, and then we want to pass in action dot movies. Okay, and that should do it. So let's save that. So that will set the movies. Now we need a function to get them. So up here again, we're going to create another function called get movie results. Oops. Okay. And what we want to do is just return underscore movies. Okay, so that's it for that. Now we need to call this in our component. So let's go back to app, our component, and then app.js. And up in here in this get app state is where we're going to set that. Okay, so we're going to say movies. We're going to set the movie state to app store dot get movie results, just like that. All right, and then that should put all the movies in our state. So to check this out, let's go to the render here, and right above the return, let's do console.log this.state.movies. Okay, so if we reload, you can see down in the console we have an empty array. That's because the movies array is now empty because we haven't searched yet. Alright, so now if we go in and we say Batman and search, actually, you know what? That's not coming from the right place. That's coming from where we console logged it before, which was where? Right here. No. Actually, I think it is coming from there. You know what? Let me just try it without. Yeah, let me try it without this console log. I just want to make sure it's coming from there. Okay, so you can see there's no array. There's nothing down here. If we search, okay, so it is coming from there because we're not getting it now. So let's put that back. Test it one more time. Okay, so it is. You can see we're getting all the Batman movies. All right, good. So what's happening is we're entering a movie. When we click search movies, we're calling the search movies function or action, and then it's giving us back the movies through the receive movie results action, and then we're putting it into the state of movies. Okay, so then which we can access with this.state.movies. All right, that's what is going on. What we want to do now is we want our results component to show up under here once we search for a movie, and then we want to pass the movies to that component and then display them. Okay, and that's what we'll get into next.